Good morning. By authorization of the trustees of the Pennsylvania State University, it is my honor to declare that the 77th commencement ceremony of Penn State Schuylkill is now in order. The ceremony in which we are participating continues a great tradition, marking an important milestone in the life of an institution, its graduates, and society. University commencement ceremonies stretch back over 800 years to the establishment of the first universities in medieval Europe, beginning with the University of Bologna in 1088. Upon graduation from the Pennsylvania State University, today's graduates will have earned their place among thousands of scholars from these and other institutions of higher learning around the globe. In recognition of this, we wear academic robes modeled after those worn by scholars in the original medieval universities, both to recognize our heritage and to remind ourselves that we are members of a global scholarly community charged to pursue further learning, to conduct and promote disciplined research, and to use knowledge for the betterment of humankind. Our scholarly mission has been critical to the global response to the COVID-19 pandemic. Let us recommit ourselves to that scholarly tradition today. At this time, if you are not already standing, please rise as you are able for our national anthem, the Star-Spangled Banner, performed by the United States Marine Band. Please be seated. Welcome to our graduates who we celebrate today. Your friends and family members and members of our faculty and staff who have joined us in person, and the many loved ones, members of our advisory board, alumni, and friends of Penn State who are watching online. Our faculty marshal for today's ceremony is Dr. Nicole Andel, Assistant Teaching Professor of English. Our banners representing the campus were carried by Hillary Yodko, Lecturer of Radiological Sciences, and Dr. DJ Higgins, Assistant Teaching Professor of Film, Video, and Music. Joining me on the platform, in addition to Dr. Andel, our attorney Richard Wiest, President of the Penn State Schuylkill Advisory Board, Mr. William Reppy, our keynote speaker, Ms. Lisa Schroeder, President of the Penn State Schuylkill Alumni Society, and Dr. Darcy Medica, Director of Academic Affairs. And just off stage left is Mr. Brian McHale, American Sign Language interpreter. Please join me in giving all of them a round of applause. Today, we congratulate and celebrate 84 Penn State Schuylkill students from the class of 2022 who are graduating today. And we welcome back 21 members of the classes of 2019 and 2020 who, because of the COVID-19 pandemic, were not able to have a commencement ceremony in person. As I said at the opening, this is the 77th time we have gathered to celebrate commencement at Penn State Schuylkill. These ceremonies have occurred during war and peacetime, economic downturns, and times of great prosperity, and during prior pandemics and epidemics, as well as days of good health. And while the COVID-19 pandemic is not yet over, we have made great strides and are once again able to celebrate commencement in person with all the traditional pomp and regalia that are appropriate to such a ceremony. Let us, however, take a moment to reflect on the severity of the pandemic with which we have been dealing for over 2 years now. Over 6.2 million people around the globe have died from COVID-19, of whom over 997,000 were Americans. That is more than the number of Americans who have died in any of our wars. It is more than the number of Americans who have died in any prior pandemic, including the 1918 flu pandemic. Thus, the COVID-19 pandemic has been and continues to be the most deadly event in American history. I ask that we pause for a moment of silence to remember those we have lost and our many grieving neighbors around the world who have lost a loved one to this deadly virus. Thank you. Our Penn State Schuylkill Advisory Board is a distinguished group of area business, government, and community leaders who assist the campus in a multitude of ways. We are grateful for the commitment, expertise, and dedication of our board members to this campus of Penn State. At this time, it gives me great pleasure to introduce the president of our Penn State Schuylkill Campus Advisory Board, Attorney Richard Wiest.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Jones. Good morning, faculty, staff, graduates, and guests. On behalf of the Penn State Schuylkill Advisory Board, I'd like to extend a heartfelt congratulations to all of the graduates and their families here today for this monumental accomplishment. Each graduate should not only be proud of what you have now achieved, but you also should feel excitement for the wonderful experiences that certainly lie ahead of you. The Penn State degree, which you have worked so hard to obtain, will help open many doors of opportunity that will allow you to flourish in your careers, expand your minds, and contribute to your communities. The Penn State Advisory Board is a group of community leaders who work together to provide advice regarding the needs of this region and support to help the campus accomplish its mission. We advocate on behalf of Penn State and support the campus in many ways, such as providing funds for scholarships, research, improvements to the physical plant and to the equipment. In closing, and on behalf of the Advisory Board, congratulations. May your successes be plenty and your endeavors be both fulfilling and bountiful. Thank you.
Thank you, Attorney Wiest. On behalf of the entire community, I thank you and your fellow board members for your dedication in serving Penn State Schuylkill. Our keynote speaker this morning is Mr. William Reppy, President of Lehigh Valley Hospital Schuylkill and Vice President of Operations for Lehigh Valley Health Network's Northwest region, which includes Schuylkill, Luzerne, and Carbon counties. He also serves as the management representative to the Board of Managers of LVHN EMS, which is a wholly owned subsidiary of Lehigh Valley Health Network, providing ambulance services in Lehigh, Monroe, and Luzerne counties. Mr. Reppy began his tenure with the Lehigh Valley Health Network at their Hazleton location in 2014 as Vice President of Operations, where he was responsible for clinical support departments, safety, security, and plant operations, and played a vital role in strategic planning, business development, and physician recruitment. Prior to joining LVHN, he was part of the Greater Hazleton Health Alliance. Prior to that, he also served as county administrator, where he was responsible for day-to-day operations as well as development of a comprehensive personnel policy and procedure manual and significant reduction in longer-term benefits liability. Bill Reppy has spent a life devoted to service to country, community, and his fellow citizens. He served our country in uniform for 6 years in the Navy as an X-ray technologist. He is active in the Orwigsburg Lions Club and other community service organizations, and serves as a member of 13 local nonprofit boards, including Nativity BVM High School, the Pottsville City Health Board, the Schuylkill Chamber of Commerce, the Schuylkill Economic Development Corporation, and the Penn State Schuylkill Advisory Board. His commitment to service, community leadership, and excellence as an executive administrator helped Schuylkill County navigate the COVID-19 pandemic. Because of his leadership, people who became infected were expertly cared for. Families were treated compassionately, and tens of thousands of us were vaccinated and boosted as quickly as possible. Bill, on behalf of our fellow citizens who you serve on a regular basis, and in particular, in gratitude for your remarkable leadership during this COVID-19 pandemic, it is my honor to welcome you to deliver our keynote address.
Thank you, Dr. Jones, board members, faculty, esteemed guests, and most importantly, the graduates of 2022. It's my honor to share a few thoughts with you today. Today represents the beginning of the next chapter in your life. That comment is not just for the graduates, it's for the parents, it's for family members, it's for friends. How that chapter is written depends on you. I encourage you to take chances, move beyond your comfort zone. In doing so, you'll likely have some failures. You'll be disappointed and maybe even feel defeated. Those are real emotions. In the words of Winston Churchill, success is not final, failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. Each failure is an opportunity to learn and grow. Many people never know their true potential because they did not take a chance, did not stretch their imagination, and were willing to settle. My own story can be summed up in those comments. At best, I was an average student at Blue Mountain High School. After high school, I went to college, but after a year, I left college because I was not ready to be there. I worked locally for the next couple years, and I realized I needed to get out of my comfort zone. So I joined the Navy and enlisted for 6 years to become an X-ray technologist. I took a chance. That move created the avenue for me to grow and take even more chances. Some of the risks I took were successful. Some were not. I learned from every one of them. In mid-career, I decided to leave healthcare and become the county administrator. And again, I took a chance. While I learned much during that time, I decided to return to healthcare after 2 years. Again, took a pretty big chance. I share this story not because it's some amazing thing. I share this story because it shows that your pathway is not always straight. We will not always be where we expect to be at specific times in our career. I share this story to say that when opportunity presents itself, even if it's scary, sometimes you need to take a chance. I can assure you that after high school and when I began my career, no one, including myself, would have said that I'd be president of a hospital. I encourage you to take a chance. Many people took a leap during the most recent pandemic. We all were dealing with an unknown enemy. Our amazing team of physicians, scientists, nurses, technologists, and caregivers took a leap. There were no known treatments, but giving up was not an option. There was fear, but not showing up was not an option. Treatments were not initially successful, but stopping was not an option. Frustration and fatigue set in, but giving up was not an option. Each day, we learned new things, we grew, we adopted, and we changed. I share this as an example of the resilience and power that sits within each one of you. You never know how your action may change your life, another's life, or maybe even an entire population's life. The pandemic, some of you may be thinking, our graduates, why are you telling me this story? Because I'm not in healthcare, I'm not graduating with a healthcare degree. The pandemic brought many disciplines together. There were scientists, physicians, computer programmers, willing clinical participants, and others who helped create the vaccine. Many of the individuals involved likely did not think that they would create a vaccine that would save lives. They took a chance, and I can assure you there were failures along the way. I believe the following words will be very familiar, particularly to the graduates. When we stood at childhood's gate, shapeless in the hands of fate, thou didst mold us, dear old state, dear old state, dear old state. During your education at this fantastic university, you allowed yourself to be molded. You will now be standing at a new gate. Take chances like you did during your education. Challenge yourself. Allow yourself to be molded into the person and career you want. Steve Jobs said, you cannot connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backward. So you have to trust that the dots somehow will connect in your future. You have to trust in something, your gut, destiny, life, karma, whatever. This approach has never let me down, and it has made all the difference in my life. A final thought as you write the next chapter is the importance of realizing that success goes beyond your career. Success for me includes giving back to my community through volunteer work. In my humble opinion, you will never be successful until you learn to give of yourself. Empathy, compassion, and kindness demonstrate emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is one of the most valued characteristics in colleagues and leaders. Your reaction to challenges, failure, and disappointment demonstrate your ability to take on new challenges. Volunteer work makes us humble. We learn from those that are not as fortunate as us. In closing, I leave you with a quote from Mark Twain. 20 years from now, you will be more disappointed by the things you did not do than the things you did. So throw off the bow lines, Navy analogy here. So throw off the bow lines, sail away from the safe harbor, catch the winds in your sails, explore, dream, discover. Thank you, be safe, and Godspeed.
Well, thank you, Mr. Reppy, for those inspiring words, your service to our community, and your support of Penn State Schuylkill. And now it is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Darcy Medica, Director of Academic Affairs, to introduce our student speaker.
Morning. We are blessed and fortunate to have students at Penn State Schuylkill who inspire us with their hard work and life stories, who make us laugh with their humor and make our lives work fulfilling through their learning, growth, and success. Michael Russell is just one example of such a student. Mike is from Frackville, Pennsylvania. He graduated from North Schuylkill High School. He has been actively engaged with all of the opportunities available to him at Penn State Schuylkill, and he has also become a leader on campus. He has served as president of the Biological Honor Society and the Healthcare Professions Club, and as vice president of the Blue and White Society. Other clubs he was involved with included the Undergraduate Research Council, Lion Ambassadors, the Honors Program, and Thon. Mike participated in undergraduate research in the labs of Dr. Lee Silverberg in chemistry and Dr. Brenna Traver in biology. He was also one of only 2 Commonwealth campus students to serve as an undergraduate research ambassador to the university. He received the campus's Biology Award and several university-wide awards, including being an Evan Pugh Scholar both as a junior and a senior, the Jane Wood Reno Memorial Scholarship, and a 2021 to 2022 Student Service and Leadership Award. Mike had interviews at 8 medical schools, and he was accepted by all of them. In August, he will attend the Philadelphia College of Osteopathic Medicine. Please welcome Mike Russell to give the student address.
So first, I'd like to start by welcoming all graduates, faculty, staff, students, family, friends, and community members to today's graduation ceremony. I'm honored and privileged to talk with you all today and represent our class. I'll be honest, when I first sat down to write this commencement address, I found the process to be quite difficult. What would I say to commemorate our years of hard work? What would I say to our faculty, staff, family, and friends who molded us along the way? Well, like most college students, I procrastinated and pushed it off to another day. But then one morning, I woke up bright and early to attend my last open house as a Lion Ambassador. While I was busy and had a lot going on during the event, I couldn't get the speech off my mind. Right before lunchtime, I met a prospective student who gave me the inspiration for this address with 2 simple words: why Schuylkill? Over the last 4 years as a tour guide, I've been asked this question dozens of times. So, as usual, I responded as I normally would. I said, I chose Penn State Schuylkill because it's a world-class, land-grant institution that happens to be right in my backyard. Why would I go anywhere else? I then went on to discuss our small class sizes and the personal connections I've been able to make with my faculty and staff. I also told the prospective student about my corny pond metaphor, in which I viewed my high school as a small pond, the world as being a vast ocean, and Penn State Schuylkill being a lake, and that perfect transition between that original pond and this great ocean we call life. However, this student encounter was different than any previous encounter. In the past, when I gave my reasoning for why Schuylkill, my Penn State story was still being written. But in that moment, that chapter of my life was almost finished. And today, it officially ends. So, when I explained my Penn State story and why Schuylkill to this student, I spent over 20 minutes talking with them. I reflected on my time and how I got to where I am today, the faculty I met, the research I completed, the communities I served, and the clubs I became involved in. I even brought the friends I've made and their diverse future plans. They're all made possible by attending Penn State Schuylkill. On my way home after the event, I thought about the number of prospective students I've met along the way to whom I've answered the question of why Schuylkill to. Just the other day, I got to have a conversation with both my original tour guide and a current student who was the first person I gave a tour to while being trained as a Lion Ambassador. It was a really cool experience. This also made me think about how everyone who attends Penn State Schuylkill has a different answer as to why Schuylkill. Over the past few weeks, I've asked multiple students why they came to Schuylkill. Some answers were similar to mine. They liked the small class sizes and being close to home. Others for the affordable tuition. And some for the prestige of the Penn State name. But others also came as older adult students who had to balance school, family, and careers. Some came as out-of-staters looking for new experiences at a smaller college. Many for the opportunity to play sports. Several as transfer students, and the list goes on and on. Many Penn State Schuylkill students have had the opportunity to attend another campus or college, such as with the 2+2 program, but all of us sitting here today decided to stay at Schuylkill. And for most of us, I believe we had similar reasonings. For me, and I'm sure the majority of us, Penn State Schuylkill has become home and always will be. None of us are the same people we were when we first started here. I'm sure we all remember the younger version of ourselves that first visited Penn State Schuylkill. We've grown, learned, and adapted. Looking back, the idea of college was daunting for me. As a young biology major, I wanted to learn as much as possible, but I was also incredibly nervous of failure. At the time, I did lack self-confidence. I want each of you to think about how much you have changed since your first day of school. Think about everything you've overcome and be proud of your own personal growth and your own individual story. Penn State has taught me, I think many of us here today, that we need to believe in ourselves. Always remember that your greatest advocate is you. We have persevered through a great deal during our time here, from COVID-19 lockdowns, the age of online learning, economic turmoil, and global instability. We have persevered and pushed on and prioritized our education. We control our own destinies, and we shape our own futures through our decisions made each and every day. And with our graduation today, we can now go off and impact the world. As our Penn State story comes to a close, I want to remind you that this is one chapter of your lives. So, I urge you to ask yourselves, what will the next chapter in your story be, and why? Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. You make all of us Penn State Schuylkill proud. We are pleased to welcome back the students who, over the past 2 years, were unable to attend in-person commencement ceremonies due to restrictions put in place in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. Raquele Amato, who served as our student speaker for the 2020 graduating student recognition ceremony, which was held entirely online, has joined us today to give reflections from the classes of 2019 and 2020. Raquele is a 2020 graduate of Penn State Schuylkill who completed a bachelor's degree in corporate communication with minors in both communication arts and sciences and civic and community engagement. She was an engaged student while at Penn State Schuylkill, participating in academic honor societies and many student clubs and organizations. Immediately following graduation, Raquele moved to California for 1 year to take a position as an event manager for a nonprofit, Golden State Events, which raises awareness for childhood suicide prevention. She then moved back to Schuylkill County to be near her family. She obtained a position with Lowe's as a front-end supervisor, and just 6 months later was promoted to assistant store manager, where she oversees operations for the store. In addition to working full-time, she is pursuing a master's degree in organizational leadership at Alumni University. Raquele, welcome home to Penn State Schuylkill. We are pleased to celebrate you and the other graduates from 2020 and 2021 who have joined us today.
Good morning, faculty, staff, family, friends, fall class of 2019 graduates, spring, summer, and fall 2020 graduates, and especially to the class of 2022. You are all soon to be Penn State graduates and part of the largest alumni association in the world. For some of us, second time is a charm. Thank you for giving us COVID-impacted graduates the opportunity to walk the stage today as Penn Staters, and thank you for inviting me to speak on behalf of these graduates. While preparing for this speech, I often found myself reflecting back to my Zoom commencement 2 years ago. They had told me my speech could only be 5 minutes long, so I talked about the importance of 5 minutes and how much you can discover or become in just those few minutes. I discussed how you can meet a few amazing people or have meaningful conversations that leave you dumbfounded, maybe even meet someone you fall in love with, or help someone in need in just those few minutes. What I failed to discuss is what happens after those 5 minutes are up. What happens next is the unknown. And through that unknown, only we have the power to decide what we really want. In the process, you will discover things about yourself you didn't know, and there will be challenges that make you wonder, what is actually next? The past 2 years have taught me that sometimes we need to stop wondering what is next and simply just live. I failed to understand that some things are out of our control, and some other things, well, like my sister likes to say, we do the best that we can with what we have at that time. This is what made me realize every single day is about doing the best that you can. And doing the best that you can will be enough, even on the days when you feel like you're failing. Because each of us has difficult days, but it's about falling forward, not back. I recently had an assignment to submit in my master's program that was based on your own personal definition of what the philosophy of courage would mean to you. The philosophy of courage to me meant walking through difficulties, stress, downfalls, and sadness, all stemming from the perception that life is incredibly hard. We fight for individuals who may leave us, and then we feel lost. We have opportunities presented to us only to not have them work out. We wake up every day and we go to work only to be disappointed by those around us. We crave to make a difference only to realize that not everybody wants to be saved. Ultimately, the same question arises: what's next? No matter what comes next, it takes courage. Courage is when you get your heart broken and you allow someone new in after, only to learn what love is and what love is not. Courage is when you feel like you're failing, but also understanding there is something so triumphant about standing back up again. Courage is when a job opportunity does not work out, but from this you realize one door closes for another to open. Not to scare you, but this may happen when you leave here. But I promise you when this happens, someone will see your value. And when they do, you'll understand why those doors were closed to you. Courage is when we notice the difference in individuals, but still decide to fight for them, because everyone wants to be fought for. Finally, courage is asking yourself, what's next, but realizing you may not have the answers, and that is more than okay. When I graduated 2 years ago, I left with so much inspiration in my heart to want to try new things and to build a new me. Just weeks after commencement, I moved to California for a job as an event manager with a nonprofit raising money for suicide awareness and drug abuse in schools. What I learned in my time there is that it's okay to take chances, even if they don't work out. After a year of living in California, I realized it was time to move back home. I don't regret any of the choices I made because it ultimately brought me to where I'm at in life right now. I'm currently a full-time master's student studying organizational leadership at Alumni University, while also excelling as an assistant store manager running operations directly next to the store manager. The past 2 years have taught me who I am and who I am not, but that journey only continues each day. I've developed sides of myself I never thought I would see. I've seen and done things I never thought I would do. And I've been given opportunities to challenge myself in ways that have forced me to see situations differently. There were times those challenges didn't allow me to see the next path clearly. But I realized as long as I had me each morning, drinking my hot coffee in my favorite mug with a couple TikToks to scroll to, then the rest would be figured out. What I'm trying to say here is do not leave here today trying to find all the answers, because you won't find them. What you'll find is a world and all its people simply doing the best that they can with what they have. Find the answers within yourself. You may think that you have lost yourself at some point in this journey, but having these experiences that scare you will only lead you to finding who you really are. As author Glennon Doyle wrote, "You're not doing life wrong, you're doing it right. If there's any secret you're missing, it's that doing it right is just really hard. Feeling all your feelings is hard, but that's what they're there for. Feelings are for feeling. The secret is that you're doing it right, and that doing it right hurts sometimes. So allow your journey to continue, allow mistakes to happen, allow chances to be taken, and allow yourself to feel every single moment. But most importantly, always remember, only fall forward, not back." Thank you and congratulations to all the graduating classes here today.
Thank you so much, Raquel. At Penn State Schuylkill, we regard outstanding scholarship as deserving of public recognition. Therefore, every commencement ceremony features a special recognition of students who have earned academic distinction. Please turn to page 6 of the printed program. You will see there the members of the classes of 2019, 2020, and 2022 who have earned scholastic distinction. This includes those who were in the top 12% of their graduating classes in their respective colleges. Will those students please rise and remain standing as I read your names? The following students have earned cum laude distinction and are wearing a white honor cord. Kelsey Atkinson, Sage Lowe, Taylor K. Olt, Matthew Williams, Rebecca Vaea Perez, Poetic Session, Courtney Weichel. The following students have earned magna cum laude distinction and are wearing a blue honor cord. Lauren Faust, Bria O'Neill Lachey Nickerson, Sierra Santasero, Julia Shellhammer, and Matthew Williams. The following students have earned summa cum laude distinction and are wearing a blue and white honor cord. Richard E. Harper, Lexi Ann Johns, Tara E. Lobenstein, Michael W. Russell, Deborah Tarasciano, Alexandra Williams, and Alex J. Whitmer. Congratulations to all of you. Please be seated. And now, it is time for the moment you have all been waiting for. Will all degree candidates please rise? Chancellor Jones, I have the honor to present as worthy and approved candidates for the various undergraduate degrees those who have met the academic requirements of the university for such degrees.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the trustees of the Pennsylvania State University, I now confer upon each of you the degree or degrees you have earned as certified by the appropriate college faculty and dean. In testimony of this, you will receive a diploma admitting you to all the privileges, honors, and responsibilities of your degrees. As graduates of the Pennsylvania State University, you may now move your tassels from the right to the left side of your caps. Congratulations. Please be seated. At this time, we have the pleasure of recognizing each graduate individually. We will first recognize those students graduating this year. They will be followed by graduates from the classes of 2019 and 2020 who have joined us today. To our family members in attendance, this will be a perfect opportunity to take pictures, but you will need to stay in your places. A professional photographer will take a picture of every graduate as they cross the stage. Grad Images will contact each graduate directly by email shortly after our ceremony with information regarding purchasing those photos. Information on how to obtain them was also included in last week's commencement email and is available on our website at schuylkill.psu.edu/commencement. Graduates, as Dr. Andel reads your name, please join me on stage to be recognized and receive your diploma cover. Will the front row please stand and proceed to the stage entrance?
Receiving the associate degree in business administration, Taylor K. Olt. Abella N. Sarabian. Caitlin Tenari. Receiving the associate degree in human development and family studies, Caitlin Bowers. Sarah Resigliano. Poetic session, receiving the associate degree in letters, arts, and sciences, Carl Nathaniel Johnson, Jr. Receiving the associate degree in physical therapy assistant, Madison Felty. Receiving the associate degree in radiological sciences, Macy Aaron Alansky. Brianna Baggy. Autumn Sky Barron. Casey Ann Blank. Desiree Marie Callahan. Angela Gaussman. Season Marie Gower. Taylor Rose Kelchner. Taylor Nicole McAndrew. Callista Jade Miller. Danae Otto. Allison Marie Peterman. Emily Rose. Dana Tabor. Madeline Olivia Tonkin. Andrea Zook. Receiving the baccalaureate degree in administration of justice, Tyler Michael Barnes. Lamonte Brown. Steele Edward Facchetti. Dylan David Steffen. Receiving the baccalaureate degree in animal science, Lauren Faust. Receiving the baccalaureate degree in biology, Bethany E. Hollenbush. Lexi Ann Johns. Ashley Pence. Michael W. Russell. Receiving the baccalaureate degree in business. Michael DeHaven Jr. Alyssa Nicole Gerber. Jessica Lee Gilfillan. Dwayne Richard Crow. John Lindenmuth. Jessica, I'll say it once more. I'll say it once more. It's okay, it's hard. Jessica Lee Gilfillan. Matthew Mabry. Deborah Teresiano. Receiving the baccalaureate degree in corporate communication, Corinne Ellis. The following student is unable to be with us in person, but is joining us on Zoom. Brandon Michael Harris. William Joseph Hoynoski. Courtney Weichel. Receiving the baccalaureate degree in criminal justice, Adam Amend. Hannah Corinne Edmondson. Amber Elizabeth Ernst. Garrett Lehman. Michaela Marie Seltzer, who is also receiving the baccalaureate degree in psychology. Willie Joseph Streisel, Jr. Alex J. Whitmer. Receiving the baccalaureate degree in Human Development and Family Studies, Sienna Heim. Receiving the baccalaureate degree in Organizational Leadership, Kelly Hoffman. Receiving the baccalaureate degree in Project and Supply Chain Management, Alex Downey. Chandra Leanne Smith. Receiving the baccalaureate degree in Psychology, Courtney Bowers. Jacqueline Berta. Manny Melina Martinez. Cassidy Barton. Savannah A. Berardino. Cassandra Cooper-Avage. Amy Marie Laubenstein. Sage Lowe. Sierra A. Santasero. Riley Jane Worthy. And now, from the classes of 2019 and 2020, having earned the associate degree in Human Development and Family Studies, Caitlin Kimmel. Having earned the associate degree in Letters, Arts, and Sciences, Lynn S. Sweet. Having earned the baccalaureate degree in Administration of Justice, Amanda Lynn Conshu. Armani J. Jefferson. Asada Monet Jones. Dara Lockbrown. Bria O'Neill Lachey Nickerson. Christopher Joseph Opolsky. Kyrie Thompson. Rebecca Villela Perez. Having earned the baccalaureate degree in business, Omar Hill Walker. Nikki Maria Hosella. Tara E. Laubenstein. Megan Merhan. Having earned the baccalaureate degree in corporate communication, Anna Raquele Amato. Paige Marie Waddell. Having earned the baccalaureate degree in psychology, Samantha Wise. Willie Alexander. Richard E. Harper. Caitlin May Siegfried. Having earned the baccalaureate degree in security and risk analysis, Benjamin Alexander Nye. This concludes includes the conferral of degrees and recognition of graduates. Please give all of our graduates a round of applause.
At this time, all these graduates are now alumni of the Pennsylvania State University. And so it is fitting and my pleasure to introduce Ms. Lisa Schroeder, President of the Penn State Schuylkill Alumni Society. The Penn State Schuylkill Alumni Society is an active group of campus alumni who volunteer to support the needs of the campus in areas such as advocacy, philanthropy, and assisting our students with career preparation. Please join me in welcoming Ms. Lisa Schroeder to represent the Penn State Alumni Association.
Well, congratulations, class of 2022. Woo! The Penn State Alumni Association celebrates your successes and welcomes all of you into a very proud network of Penn Staters. More than 174,000 alumni and friends like you keep their connection to our world-class university strong through membership in the Penn State Alumni Association. With your graduation today, the Alumni Association is pleased to present you with a free membership for the next year. Your membership keeps you in touch with Penn State and connects you with more than 300 geographically dispersed alumni chapters, interest groups, and college and campus alumni societies. This is the second time today. You all know what I mean. I invite you, once you're settled, to reach out to your local Penn State alumni chapter. Your Penn State family will be happy to hear from each one of you. With that, I'd like to ask all of our new graduates, back up, please rise. Now, would all of the other Penn State graduates in the room also please rise as well? It gives me great pleasure to induct all graduating students of the Pennsylvania State University into the Penn State Alumni Association. We welcome you into our Penn State alumni family. Congratulations.
Please be seated. Thank you, Ms. Schroeder, for your hard work and support of Penn State Schuylkill. I would like to close by thanking the staff members who helped make today a success. Our commencement co-chairs, Jonathan Kukta, who is our Director of Business Services, and Leah Morrison, Director of Enrollment Management and Strategic Communications, and all the members of our Commencement Planning Committee. In addition, thanks to Leah Morrison and the Strategic Communications team, John Peters and the Information Technology team, Don Summers and the Technical Services team, and our sign language interpreter, Brian McHale. Thanks to all of you for organizing and supporting today's ceremony to recognize and celebrate our students. Thank you to Dr. Nikki Andel for serving as faculty marshal today, and to every member of our faculty and staff. They are dedicated and caring professionals at any time. Their response over the last 2 years during this COVID-19 pandemic has been truly remarkable. The success of today's graduates is in great part due to their hard work and dedication. Thank you, faculty and staff members of Penn State Schuylkill. And now to the graduates. You have graduated from one of the finest universities in the world. You have earned your place among thousands of alumni of this great university and will forever be known as Penn Staters. As Penn Staters, you are graduates of a land-grant university. Land-grant universities were established in 1862 when Abraham Lincoln signed the Morrill Act into law. These universities were founded with a federal mandate to make the world a better place in 3 specified ways: to provide access to affordable, high-quality education, to conduct and promote research to improve people's lives, and to engage with our communities in order to make them better places to live. As students here at Penn State Schuylkill, you learned to embrace our mission through acquiring and sharing knowledge, by conducting research and applying evidence-based findings to solve problems, and by engaging in and with the communities in which you reside in order to make them better places to live. You are graduating today into a world that needs people who can do these things, both in your profession and community. I challenge you to take what you have learned here to make them better by being more informed, by being data-focused, and being oriented toward making our communities local, national, and global better places for all people. And remember, you cannot do this alone. As a Penn Stater, you have learned to work with others in common cause. After all, when we Penn Staters come together, we recognize ourselves, beginning with the word we, as in, and now everyone in this hall, loud and proud, and shake the rafters, we are Penn State! And we are so proud of you. Congratulations, graduates. And now, please stand for our alma mater, For the Glory of Old State, performed by the Penn State Glee Club, Penn State's oldest student organization, having been founded in 1888. And now some instructions. After the alma mater, we ask all the audience members to please remain in place until our recession is complete and all of the graduates have exited the gym. However, due to today's weather, please stay in the gym because the graduates will come back into the gymnasium after the recession and they'll be able to meet you here. With that, I wish you an absolutely lovely celebratory day. And now, our alma mater.